Welcome to the Movie Spoiler Club, the channel where you can watch movie, television, and streaming series within minutes. Today we're going to spoil the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp, 2018. This movie story plot is about Scott Lang. Paul Rudd is grappling with the consequences of his choices as both a superhero and a father, approached by Hope van Dyne, Evangeline Lilly, and Dr. Hank Pym, Michael Douglas. Lang must once again wear the Ant-Man suit and fight alongside the Wasp. The urgent mission soon leads to secret revelations from the past, as the dynamic duo finds itself in an epic battle against a powerful new enemy. The film starts with Hank Pym going on a mission of stopping a missile with his wife, Janet van Dyne. They depart for the mission, leaving their daughter Hope at home with the housekeeper. Using the shrinking technology they've been working on, they get on the missile and try to find a space to get into it. When they realize that there is no option, Janet, who was also known as the Wasp, shrinks herself into subatomic size to drop the missile on water. But this throws her into a quantum realm, and she's presumed to be dead for the outer world. In the first Ant-Man movie, Scott Lang also shrinks into subatomic levels but manages to return from the quantum realm. This incident pushes Hank Pym to believe that there might be a chance that his wife's still alive. In the present day, we see Scott Lang playing with his daughter Cassie on the weekend time he got to spend with her. He's under house arrest for engaging in the fight in the airport we see in the movie Civil War, going against the Sokovia Accords. While playing with Cassie, Scott's leg accidentally goes out of the perimeter, breaking the fence, and this triggers an alarm, leading the FBI to pay him a visit to see if he's engaged in any suspicious activity. Scott explains to Agent Wu that he's been trying to entertain Cassie in the time he's spending with her, even practicing some card magic tricks. After the FBI leaves, Cassie's mother Maggie and stepfather Paxton come to take her home. With only 3 days more under house arrest, Scott decides to spend it entertaining himself. While he's in the bathtub, he has a vision in which he finds himself as Janet van Dyne playing hide and seek with a young girl, presumably Hope. Scott gets shocked and leaves a voice message for Hank Pym after a long time, saying that he saw Janet, but changes his mind and breaks the phone without telling it completely. Later at that night while he's eating his dinner, Scott gets tranquilized by an unseen flying insect. Scott wakes up in the passenger seat of a car that Hope's driving. Scott insists that he should go back, but Hope tells him that she reattached Scott's ankle tracking device from the FBI onto a giant ant and replaced him there so that no suspicion will arise. Hope is upset with Scott for showing up among the Avengers and letting the whole world know about the technology, which has also cost them to lose their house. They arrive at a lab where Scott meets Hank, who's also upset with what Scott did. He blames Scott for destroying his Ant-Man suit, being it's his lifetime's work, saying that he shouldn't have taken the suit for fighting the Avengers. Hope shows Scott a tunnel they've been building in the past 2 years while Scott's been under house arrest. It is a doorway to the quantum realm, which they plan to bring Janet back from. When Scott describes the dream he saw in detail, it's confirmed that Janet is still alive and has sent some sort of a message through Scott in a split second that they managed to open the doorway for the first time. They shrink the car they came in and replace it with a toy-like van, and enlarge it to go for finding a component for the quantum tunnel to stop overloading. Hank also shrinks the lab they've been working into a bag size for secrecy as well as safety. Hope goes to meet Sonny Birch, the one who's been supplying them the needed equipment, while Hank and Scott are watching from a camera inside the van. But it's revealed that he has found out that Hope has been using him to get equipment by pretending to be someone else, so he insists for him to be part of what Hank is attempting. When Hope refuses to let him join their project, he refuses to give the device. Hope changes into the Wasp suit that she was given by Hank and gets hold of the component, but another unknown ghost-like figure who can phase through anything engages in a fight with her. As Hope seems to be overpowered, Scott wears a work-in-progress suit of Hank and joins with Hope to fight the ghost, but the ghost escapes to the van and takes the lab by threatening Hank. Now that they've lost their safe place in the residence, Scott takes Hank and Hope to the security company run by Lewis for accommodation. They discuss a way to get the lab back, and Hank realizes that he has to seek help from his former partner, Bill Foster. We see the ghost that appeared and engaged with them, whose real name is Ava, going to her residence with the retrieve lab. She takes off the suit and goes into a special chamber to lay down and sleep, but we see that she's suffering from an enormous pain. Hank, Hope, and Scott got to the university that Bill Foster lectures in. In the meeting with him, it's revealed that Hank and Foster hold a grudge against each other since a project they worked on together named as Project Goliath. Before they leave, Foster tells Hope that they'll be able to locate the lab by modifying a diffractor of the regulator in the Ant-Man suits. Hank is dispirited that he had eliminated the diffraction from the suits when he upgraded it, but Scott admits that he still has his old Ant-Man suit that he wore for fighting with the Avengers. Scott had hidden it in a trophy that Cassie gave him. But when he couldn't find it in his house, he realizes that Cassie must have taken it to school. Hope and Scott shrink in suits and sneak into the school to take the old suit from Cassie's backpack. With the idea that Foster gave, they locate the lab in Ava's home. But before they could steal and return, all of them get attacked by Ava, bound up into chairs. Then Foster appears inside Ava's house, revealing that Foster's idea was a setup. Foster and Ava tell Ava's story, how her father's attempt to open a quantum realm went wrong, killing himself and making Ava's molecules destabilize. As a result of that phenomenon, Ava's body is subjected to uncontrollable phasing. She's suffering in so much pain, and that's why she wears a ghost suit, to reduce the pain. Foster had taken her in as a child, and they're planning to get Janet's location when it comes in Scott's head, and extract the quantum energy that Janet has been absorbing for all these years to cure Ava. Even if it kills Janet, Hank pretends to be sick and asks for his pill bottle. When Foster opens the bottle, it unleashes a couple of giant ants which were trained to enlarge themselves when open. The ants free them from the binds and attack Foster and Ava, giving time for Hank, Hope, and Scott to steal the lab and escape. They establish the lab in a remote forest area, and get back to work on the quantum realm tunnel by installing the component they stole from Birch. Then Scott receives a phone call from Lewis, who wants him to do an adjustment on a security item regarding a big business deal they're about to get. When Scott says that he cannot leave the lab, Lewis decides to come to the lab with the plans, and Scott gives him the location so that he can do the adjustment in the lab. While they're working on the tunnel, Janet gets into Scott's head and creates a new algorithm that will help them stabilize the tunnel and enter the coordinates to locate her. But she warns them that they only have 2 hours since the quantum realm is unstable, so that they won't be able to locate and reach her for another century if they miss this opportunity. After giving them the coordinates for the rendezvous point, Janet leaves Scott's head. Before Lewis leaves the company, Sonny Birch shows up there and asks for the location of Scott. When Lewis resists, an associate of Sonny uses a truth serum to get the location of Scott out of Lewis's mouth. Just then, Ava also appears in the room to get the location and leaves to steal the lab back. Instead of going by himself, Birch calls the FBI and gives them the location of the trio. After he left the apartment, Lewis calls Scott and tells him that both the Ghost and FBI are coming for them. Scott manages to get home in time to meet the FBI there to avoid suspicion, but the moment Hank and Hope shrink the lab, they see that they are surrounded by the FBI. Scott rescues them from the FBI building with the help of ants, by giving Hope her Wasp suit and Hank an FBI uniform to sneak out. They locate the lab by a new tracker that Hank had installed after the last time it got stolen. They reach the destination to the location of Ava and Foster, and they're joined by Lewis as a backup. Hank uses the ants to resist Foster and gets his old suit to go into the quantum realm to meet Janet. Ava attacks Scott, but he provides enough time to give the shrunken lab to Lewis and Hope to escape. Scott, Hope, and Lewis distract Ava while Hank enters the quantum realm. There he almost loses the signal but finally finds Janet alive and reunites with her. Meanwhile, Scott and Hope also get attacked by Birch and his associates in a car chase, which gives room for Ava to take and get back into the lab to get ready for the extraction of Janet's energy. Lewis, Dave, and Kurt manage to knock down Birch's men, so Scott and Hope manage to reach the lab to stop Ava's attempt on extracting Janet's energy. Birch's men are confronted by the cops, and they admit every crime they've ever done, as Lewis, Dave, and Kurt have injected them their own truth serum. Ava engages in a fight with Scott and Hope, but they manage to hold her off until Hank and Janet come out of the quantum realm tunnel. After Hope and Janet reunite, Janet sees Ava, who's suffering from pain. She puts her hands on Ava and stabilizes the phasing of the body using her quantum energy, curing Ava's pain. As the cops have come to the place, the group splits and escapes the area. Scott again manages to get home in time to confront the FBI, and so survives the last day of his house arrest. The tracker device is detached, and the first thing he does is go out and see Cassie. Lewis gets a wealthy customer for his company with the big deal he was waiting for, and Ava splits from Foster for good. Hank brings Janet to the beach side, where they set up a new house by expanding a miniature model. In the mid-credit scene, we see Hank and Janet have established a smaller quantum tunnel with Hope's help, so that Scott can go in and retrieve more quantum healing particles to help Ava to keep stabilized. Scott goes in and gets the particles, but receives no response from the trio who led him out of the realm. We see back in the real world, Hope, Hank, and Janet have just dissolved into ashes, with the snap of the fingers by Thanos that we saw in the Infinity War movie. In the post-credit scene, we see the giant ant who was put at Scott's house to replace him at house arrest, playing Scott's drum set where half of life vanished into thin air. Movie trivia. Do you know that the laboratory incorporates elements of various scales, and was obviously enhanced when at various scales? Examples of this include an enormous battery and electric guitar volume knob and the like. With most everything else at human scale, the wheels and handle were obviously installed when the building was at the smaller size then. As with the battery and knob expanded along with the building, this movie gets the movie rating of 7.1 from IMDb, Tomatometer rating of 87 and audience score of 75 from Rotten Tomatoes. Thank you for watching and be sure to hit like, subscribe, share your thoughts in the comment section, and hit the notification bell for the new movie spoiler video every week.